mà lẹ́ni bẹ̀yẹn ò nílé lóko. Ẹ sì kú dédé àsìkò yìí. Hello everyone, it's Adirunke again. I hope your day is going well. Today, I'd like to talk about the word Wahala. Wahala. And the fact that it's not a Yoruba word. So, it's often used and it's often mistaken for a Yoruba word, but it's not. It's one of the unnecessarily borrowed words that we have our own words for, so but anyway, it's Arabic, as you may have guessed. It's Arabic, and I think originally and now in Arabic it means fright. It meant and it still means fright or terror in Arabic. And in another context, it can also be instant or moment. Wala. Wala. Wahala. I think is how the Hausa say it. We say Wahala, but I think they say Wahala. I'm not sure. But this is how you would write it in a Jami. And if you don't know what a Jami is, it's like Africanized Arabic. In Yoruba, we say Wahala. The Hausa use it in the context of difficulty. It's also one of the contexts that we would use it in as well. But, well, I suppose they also use it in this context as well. The Hausa. Hausa. How would you say Hausa properly? I say Hausa, but it's obviously the way that we would pronounce it Yorubacally. I'm not sure, but Wahala is how we would say it, and it could mean any of these. And this is the Ajami version. Just it's the same, but it's unnecessarily borrowed. We don't need to borrow it. I was saying it in previous videos that the only thing we really have in connection to our ancestors, the only thing that we really have as individuals is the language. We don't really have anything else that connects us to our ancestors that lived before. The language already has been significantly modified. I don't think if Obatala speaks, the way that it would phrase certain things or certain metaphors that it will use, or I may not really get it because, of course, times change. And it may not really get some of the things I may say because it's a different era as well. But at least it's the same language, One interesting thing is the dialects may differ, but you can even tell what somebody is saying just by listening to them. The art is, let's just say, gone, as good as gone, as a result of different looting efforts and slave raids, and a lot of things have been either burnt or looted, or the street names have been changed, the town names have been changed. Idiose, for instance, has now become about Macaulay Way, and Onoyamokbo, for instance, has now become Airport Road or something. So, as a result of colonization, streets have been renamed. Hairstyles and clothing, yes, we still have those, but even in the hairstyles, lots of people don't really wear the original ones. They would prefer to do the 1 million braids and the fixings and the... We can't live our ancestors' lives, of course. Certain things will change, but if the only thing that we have as individuals is the language, then I suppose we are to cherish it. I can't really think of anything else that we have that is as substantial and indestructible as the language. And now it's been diluted. If we have words for trouble, problem, issue, difficulty, and we're borrowing this word unnecessarily, we are cut off from what our ancestors thought of how problem should be described or trouble should be described. You know, Wahala doesn't make any sense to us. It's just a borrowed word. In and of itself, we don't even know. In and of itself, it means fright or terror in Arabic, like I've said. And we're even using it in a different context. So it doesn't really make any sense. There are, however, words that carry meaning and make sense. And I'll discuss them one by one. The first, there are so many actually. We have almost an overwhelming number of words that could carry the same meaning, you know, as Wahala in the way that we use it. Ishoro, for instance, could be difficulty, could be problem, could be issue, could be trouble. Ishoro. And if you break the word down in and of itself, this is what it means. The I there is the noun maker. She is do, I beg your pardon, do or cause or make. O is the noun maker as well. A situation or state of is what it would be. Ro is an adjective for describing pain or great discomfort. So if my teeth is or ache, if my teeth is aching, for instance, I'll say eyin ro mi. You know, eyin ro mi. My teeth is aching, just discomfort. So Ishoro is the thing that causes a state of pain or a state of great discomfort, which would be difficulty, problem, issue. So our ancestors, several centuries before now, probably even over a millennium before now, thought that the best way to describe a difficulty or problem or issue, or their way, not the best way, their way of describing any of these would be something that puts one in a state of discomfort. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that connecting us to those particular set of ancestors that came up with that? Why would we want to lose that? And I did a Google search in one of the previous videos like this, of this kind, where I showed you Google search results. If you Google, Google Translate even, and even if you Google it, if you Google trouble, what does trouble mean in Yoruba? Or what does problem mean in Yoruba? If you use Google Translate, it would give you Wahala, as opposed to the words that have meaning to us. We're losing that. We're disconnecting from that. Once the language gets to a point where it's significantly diluted, and you may think, oh, that can't possibly happen. Everybody's speaking Yoruba now, but you'll be quite surprised that as the world changes, it's very probable, you know. But anyway, I feel like a broken record just trying to explain my rationale for making this video, so I won't even bother. Ioleno is another one. Ioleno, and it could also be disturbance, it could be trouble, it could be problem, it could be issue, it could be difficulty. It's always depending on the context. It depends on the context. So depending on what you're describing. But Iyonu is what it would be when you break it down like this. Iyoni enu, Ioleno. The noun maker, the thing that yo is like appear. Ni is in. Enu is the mouth. The mouth. So the thing that appears in the mouth is how some ancestors several centuries before now probably even millennials before now, thought to be the best way to describe disturbance or trouble or problem or issue. And I guess that it's because of the yo just appear. The yo here is being used to express the unexpectedness or unwantedness of that thing. You're just minding your business and something just happens, you know. There's a problem, there's an issue that just pops out of your mouth. It's not really something that you want to say, or, you know, it's not really something nice that you prefer to say, you know, that you would opt for, but it just appears in your mouth, something unplanned. You just find yourself talking about it or requesting for help regarding it, or your nieno just appears in your mouth. It's a, see, the language is rather poetic without effort. It's quite effortless, you know. Even the way that we speak in general that we regard as basic general words have metaphoric, poetic effects to them that is quite beautiful and that we should not lose, you know. You can describe trouble by just saying, oh, I don't even know what language trouble originated from. I'm going to check now. I'm curious to know. Torpedoes, from Latin to Old French and then to English. So the English borrowed it from the French, and the French borrowed it from the Latin. But anyway, the way that our own ancestors thought to describe it is the particular set of ancestors that came up with this word is the unexpectedness of it. You know, you not wanting to say it, but just finding it appearing in your mouth. Something unplanned, a problem, an issue. Let's go to the next one. Let's not pull that too far. Iyonu is another one, and it could mean any of the things that we typically use Wahala for. We don't need to borrow that word. If these words are not being added to the Google dictionary or Google Translate, then do you think that in the next 50 to 100 years, the mentions of them would not be significantly lowered? Because as platforms like Google or even any other platform builds upon itself, and as they establish themselves as the ones to go to when you need to find the Yoruba equivalent of a word, the more people would use what is available, the less the originals would be mentioned until they die out. Iyonu, trouble, problem, worry, distress, anything, issue, it works. Ioleno is not you might think it's a shortened form of Ioleno, but it's not. It's not. You might think Ioleno, Iyonu must be the shortened form. It's not. It exists independently. The thing that noun maker, yo is. This is where homonymous tendencies of words come to play. While yo could be a pair, it could also be remove, it could be pull out, it could be draw out. These words have homonymous tendencies. Words like yo, eno is the mouth. So the thing that draws out the mouth is what that is from its place. Trouble. So our ancestors, several years before now, well, the particular set of ancestors that came up with the word thought it was a good idea to describe trouble or issue as something that draws out your mouth from its place. Your mouth is in a place, but then something happens, something unplanned, something unexpected, something unwanted happens, and you find yourself drawing out your mouth from its place and talking about it In other words, if nothing is happening and everything is calm, you're not forced to speak, but trouble literally draws your mouth from its place and causes you to speak. You have no choice. It's the only one that can pull your mouth. When there's a problem, when there's trouble, you have no choice. You find yourself talking about it. The life was so communal. I can see how this would make sense as well, because now there's sort of this, oh, don't talk about your problem, don't share your problem, everybody hates you, everybody's your enemy type life, or be wary of everybody. Everybody's a witch or a wizard. Your family members are just there to get you, especially your extended family members and things like that. So it was a lot more communal back in the day. So trouble has a potential of drawing your mouth out from its place and causing you to speak. Another word is Idamu. Idamu. It could also be any of these: frustration, confusion, worry, anxiety, distress. It's always depending on the context. So you can use it in any of these contexts. Trouble, problem, I is the noun maker, per usual. The thing that. Da is drive or herd. Idamu. Idamu. So da is the word in and of itself. Drive or herd. Could also be pour. It could be betray. So many. It's a homonym. So many meanings that it could have. Mu is to catch. Mu would be like the state of catching or the state of getting a hold of. That's what it would be. That's what it would be. So Idamu would be the thing that drives one to catch, which means the things that I put this painting here to give you like a mental picture. The thing that drives one to get a hold of a situation. So it could be frustration, confusion, worry, anxiety, distress. It drives you to catch it. It's almost like a catch me if you can. So you're struggling to get a hold of it, because it has gone out of your control. I think that's like the idea of it. Something that has gone out of one's control and that one has to catch, to regain a hold of. So frustration, confusion, worry, anxiety, distress, trouble, blah, blah, blah. Could be any of those. Oron is another one. Oron. Could be problem, could be trouble, could be issue, could be matter, it could be case, it could be tea, scandal. Oh yeah, I forgot to add scandal, but it could be scandal. If you break it down, this is the noun maker. Oh, by the way, it's color coded, just in case. Okay, well, I suppose you may already know. I didn't put the words like on each, but it's color coded just so that you can see. I was trying to minimize the number of letters that don't need to be duplicated. Is the thing that wrong is spread. So I put I put this for fellow Bridgerton lovers to give you a mental picture of what the word is. The thing that spreads. Dear gentle reader, the thing that spreads. So it could be any of these, even the ones that I mentioned: trouble, issue. Well, there's issue here, problems here. The thing that spreads, particularly something unpleasant. The unpleasantness is not implied, but the way that it has been used, at least 2,000 years for now, it's typically the unpleasantness that is emphasized with oron. No. So if you say something like Shalati daron, which if you break daron down would be daoran. Shalati daoran. You're saying Shola has created or committed something that spreads, which is an issue that will be discussed or that is to be discussed. And it's not just in the gossip. Well, gossip may also be a result of oron. It's in the something that has to be deliberated upon and resolved context. It's within that context that it applies. Something that even the Ogboni at the higher level, or even Shola's parents, let's say Shola's family members, would have to sit and discuss and deliberate over in order to resolve it. So apart from God, yes, our ancestors did engage in gossip as well. They were not Puritans. It's the discussion and deliberation and attempting to resolve it context that applies here. So they'll say, oh, our ancestors just gossip. No, it's if they talk about it, it's typically to find a way of, for the most part in general, but of course there would be gossip as well, depending on how juicy the matter is. Iponju is another one. I feel like I need water, but I'm just going to continue. Iponju could be any of these: problem, issue, difficulty, calamity, distress, adversity, trouble, anything. It could be any of these. All of these English words fit. Iponju is the thing that here, the thing that is redden. If you say pon, it's reddish, but because this is the thing that, then it's the thing that reddens. Oju is the eye, the thing that you use to see, the thing that you use to see, to gain clarity or gain focus. So the thing that you use to see, oju. So Iponju is the thing that reddens the eye. So it's, again, our ancestors were like rather poetic. What they're just saying is something that makes you feel like crying, or something that makes you cry. That's what that is. So it could be a problem, an issue, a difficulty, a calamity, distress, adversity, trouble, chaos, anything. Just something that reddens your eye. If it doesn't make you cry, it makes you upset, or it brings you close to tears. Iponju. Another one, I got tired of breaking it down at this point. I told you, as I finished the slides, I just kept remembering other words. So it's really overwhelming. If you try to put all the words that could possibly, all the original, genuine Yoruba words together that could be trouble or problem, you would be extremely overwhelmed. Laasigbo is another one, and it could be any of these: anguish, chaos, adversity, difficulty, trouble, problem. The la here is like to, la could be to dilute, could be to deliver, it could be to save, it could be to divide, it could be to separate. But the general idea here, is something that needs to be resolved, something that you need to resolve, pay attention to. If it's a fight, something that you need to break apart and find a resolution to. I keep revolving around the word resolve, but that's really what it is. Laasigbo. Làásìgbò. Làásìgbò. Rògbòdìyàn is another. See, these are words that have existed for millennia. Yeah, millennia. Rògbòdìyàn. Ro is like think, or like even discuss or say. Ro ẹjọ́, talk, so discuss, confess, any of those. Bodi. Odi is like, how do I describe Odi? The upside down version of something. Okay, let's say I turn my cloth to the back and I wear it in such a way that what is here appears here and this goes in. I would say mo wo odi aṣọ, something that is not the proper way. Like something that is upside down. Could also be upside down, but something that is not the right way. I'm trying to look for a particular English word, but none is coming to my mind right now. If I remember, I'll put it in the comment section or the description. Bodinho. So something a deliberation that has gone south. So it could be chaos, it could be conflict, it could be trouble, it could be unrest, it could be problem. But the idea of the word is like you're discussing something and everything just goes topsy-turvy. Everything just goes south. It doesn't go as planned. And it probably results in a fight or in conflict or trouble, unrest. That's the idea. Ijamba is also another word. Trouble, problem, adversity, accidents. It's typically used in the accident context. I think most of it, you hear ijamba oko very often. Trouble of the car or adversity that involves the car, the car. In that case, accident. Ija is fight. Ba is to meet. Ija is fight, struggle. Ba is to meet. So you're minding your own business and something that a struggle just meets you, catches up with you, finds you. Something that you have to fight to resolve or struggle to resolve. That's what ija insinuates. So ijamba, something that a kind of fight or struggle that catches up with you while you're just minding your business. Again, it also has that unexpected, unwanted or unplanned thing to it. Ija. Fight. Something, a struggle just meets you while you're minding your own business. Ijongbon is another one. Trouble, problem, adversity, difficulty, issue, could be any of those. Ijongbon. This one is also kind of poetic. Jon is to, let's say I'm carrying something and I jomole. Jon. I drop it forcefully. That's what it means. Timba Jon Igoi. Jon. Jon. You drop it forcefully. Bon is to shake. Shake. Bon is to shake. So ijon bon is something that there are two things that come to mind. I'm thinking of our ancestors carrying like things on their head and then having to drop it with force, John. To shake something else that might be the problem. Let's say something is obstructing your way. That's one thing, but it's probably the second thing. But the first thing is that they drop what they are carrying and they have to shake that thing out of their way. But again, I don't know the context. I really don't know. The second thing is something that drops a person and shakes them. Something that is just describing that is an issue, it's a difficulty, something that drops you or literally slams you with force and shakes you, something that rough handles you. Something that rough handles you. So trouble, problem, difficulty, adversity. I think that is, without assuming or thinking of scenarios, that is what it is. Something that slams one to the ground and shakes one. Something that rough handles one. Another one, this one is even almost gone. I don't see many people use this one, is pakpa. 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 It's worry, it's anxiety, it's trouble, it's problem. And I was trying to break this one down in my mind while I was making this slide, but I think it's just onomatopoeic. You can't really clearly say that these are the words that are combined, but pa 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 pa, I think it's just a way of, with sounds, describing worry, anxiety, trouble, problem. So pa pa. Another one is ila ilo. Ila. This one is also onomatopoeic. I don't know. Ila ilo. Ila ilo. I think so. Anxiety, turbulence, problem, trouble. Ila ilo. But maybe it's just describing you having a person having to go up and down, just struggling, running, elter skelter. I think the word describes elter skelter, sort of like our own. Well, we have so many words that could possibly be elter skelter, but it describes that elter skelter movement. Ila ilo. Another one is Adamu. This one, don is to test. I think that's a close word. Wo is to look at or assess. So something that tests you to assess your level of strength or your level of courage. So a trial, a problem, a difficulty, a test. Something that tests your perseverance and even faith and courage and hope, and think of all the words that apply. Adowo. Another word is kuraku. 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 And it could be trouble or problem. Issue, chaos, adversity. This one is also being used less. It's also being used less. And there are many more like that one could possibly use. I've not gone the extra mile to look for the rest, but I'm pretty sure that there are more. These are just the mainstream ones. And I think the reason why we have so many is issues can manifest in different ways, and different people have different ways of describing problems or how problems make one feel. For instance, with Iponju, something that reddens the eye, you can see that it's how it makes one feel or what it does to one that is being used as the descriptive factor there. So, so that's why we have so many. If you have any questions or would like additional explanation regarding the ones that I mentioned, or you have some more that I forgot, please add them in the comment section below. Thank you for your support. Thank you for everything, and I'll see you in the next video. Enjoy the rest of your day, and bye for now.
Wo wo rẹ lo soyún wo wo ibi lágbálà májá ibi làgbàlá abẹ́jà lódò nínú òkè wọn là lọ́mọ pàǹdọ̀rọ̀ gbó sí àti ìkórèjọ kíta gbogbo ọmọ forí dandan gbọgbọgbọ ni mọ̀lìwò yọjọ pẹ̀ dà sí òlé pàtàn àrúbọ sí òlé pòde